My brother is a pig, treats my house like it is a pigsty, and probably thinks the floor is his own disposable garbage can because of how much trash he leaves on it, and now he's terrorizing my house because I'm forcing him to help out. My brothers are all pigs. We had a very traditional house where girls cleaned and washed dishes from the time we were old enough to walk and stand on chairs, and my brothers never did anything, and as adults cannot even turn a washer on. I very much resenting how I felt like I had to raise my own father and how holidays and weekends were always spent with my brothers and dads laying around and us cleaning. Even on Christmas they got to play with their toys and we went in the kitchen. I do not care about excuses like I was never taught. We are all adults now and they can YouTube and Google whatever they do not know. I learned how to patch walls, change tiers, change oil, etc. All the gendered stuff I was never taught, so I do not see why he can't as well. My brother got put out by his girlfriend after they just had their first kid because he does not help with anything. Since staying with me I have forced him to do stuff. When he first moved in, my house went from my tidy, clean utopia to a disgusting mess. He would spit sunflower seeds on the flood, hide his food and dirty dishes around the house, spit chewed gum behind the coffee machine feed from the trash can, hide snack food everywhere, smoke on the toilet and put cigs out on my floor, which is a slap in the face as I asked him to not even smoke inside because I do not smoke, leave his dirty clothes everywhere even on the living room floor, etc. Even when he ordered food for himself, he would eat at the table then leave it for me to put away for him. Anytime he took anything out of the fridge he would leave it on the table and would often leave the fridge open. I am not joking, I found maggots 3 times from his mess. I lost it and told him to change his behavior totally or get out. Well, he started doing stuff but as badly as he could. He would put bowls in the dishwasher so they would be filled with nasty water, mop with the same water for days on end leaving it smelling of rot, do his laundry by putting it in the washer and leaving it for me to finish, put food away by throwing it all over the fridge spilling food everywhere. The best was when he put the syrup away upside down on the top shelf with no lid on, coating my entire fridge in syrup that took hours to clean, etc. Then he would say, "I am trying, you are just being a batch." I lost my temper, and I know I couldn't leave him on the street, so I divided the house. The cabinet doors all have locks from the previous owners, so I got him some dishes from Goodwill and forbade him from using any of my dishes, so he is eating off his filthy dishes. I made it very clear that anything left on the floors, clothing, etc., gets a 1-day grace period, then it will be thrown away. Same with the few dishes he has, as he would leave them in the sink until they started to grow mold. I started locking my bathroom door and he has to use the one in the basement, which I refuse to clean. If his clothes are in the washer for more than 8 hours and I need to use it, I dump them wet on his bed. Any trash he leaves laying around goes on his bed. If he orders food and gets up and leaves his leftovers, I leave them to rot, then they get thrown away, though twice the idiot has left food out overnight and came out and started angry eating it whilst glaring at me. Both times the idiot got food sickness. He destroyed my fridge again, putting juice in upside down with the lid barely on, once again destroying my food, so I mopped it up with towels and dumped the towels and all my ruined food on his bed, then put a lock on the fridge. He hates me and says I am terrorizing him. I say I was forced to mother him as a child but was never given the parental control to actually teach him how life works. And since my brothers used my childhood to treat me like a maid, I will no longer parent them. My view is, some lessons have to be learned painfully. I will not gentle parent a grown man who cannot close a fridge door. Am I a jerk? Update 1. I could not believe my eyes when I opened Reddit and saw the number of notifications. Wow. So just to update everyone, things came to a head today. I had to work the early shift and had session with my table tonight at 6. I'm DMing a few D&D games. I begged my brother to keep the living room clean. I came home and the house was more than trashed. I mean, it looked like a bomb went off. He even dropped a cup of milk on the floor and left it. I flung the whole milk jug at his head and screamed at him to get the fudge out. He tried to bulk up to me and I lost it screaming "Get out" over and over, and I guess he saw how unhinged I was because he stormed out. I cleaned up the milk, then jumped online to message everyone to cancel and saw the 700 plus notifications. You all gave some really solid advice, and I knew reading the replies last night that this was over. I was gonna give him a few weeks, but seeing that milk all across my new floor was the last straw. I don't know where he is going, I don't care. I thank you all. I love Reddit people. End of update. Update 2. Hello everyone, I considered leaving the situation with my brother at the original post, but this post has blown up and is being covered outside of Reddit, so I figured I should tell you guys what has happened. To start, I know a lot of people seemed incredibly perplexed I even allowed this. To this all I can really reply is that I grew up in a very toxic environment. They are Mormons, and not the modern kind. When I was a kid, I was not allowed to wear pants. In my childhood, if you asked a man to clean, you would be looked at like you were insane. And if you got mad at a man being messy, it would even be implied you could possibly be corrupted spiritually for attacking the original design. Obviously, after I left the church, I understood that things are different, but I am not as healed as I thought. I obviously need a lot more therapy. I also got a few posts asking why I didn't include that I am autistic in my post. This is just because it is not relevant. The actual update: my brother is MIA. For anyone who missed it, the day after that post, I came home to a trashed house and a glass of milk spilt on the floor that had obviously been there for a while. I lost it and lugged the milk jug at his head, thankfully missing, and screamed at him over and over to get out. He tried to square up to me, but I screamed so loud it was hard to talk the next day. I think he got the hint then and took off, almost ripped my door in two doing it. I had to replace a hinge. I know some people wanted me to sue him, but during this whole situation I was confronted with a health scare, just some weird-looking moles, but I am still worried, so I do not want to deal with that. He left, get this, and went to the house of his 19-year-old girlfriend. Apparently, he met this girl when she went to the bar for her 18th. I had no idea this was going on, but all my brothers did. To recap, he had a baby with his GF of 8 years, this month. Editors note the girlfriend of 8 years is different than the 19-year-old. I told them all to fudge off. When Mom messaged me crying because no one knows where your brother is, he just left with some girl, I told her I do not care. I did. Call me crazy, messaged the girl to tell her he is bad news, but she called me a crazy Ken and blocked me. I also messaged the girl's mom, who seems worried but basically said she cannot do anything because her daughter is legal. I guess they took off and skipped town and will not tell anyone where they are. Outside of worry for this girl, I do not care. I'm too busy chilling with his ex and my wonderful niece. I'm going to take care of my health and focus on my life.